सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्. So we are looking into the meaning of Gita Dhyan Shlokas. Gita Dhyan Shlokas are prayer mantras, and they have been not written by Ved Vyasa ji. They are not a part of Bhagavad Gita. They are 9 in number, and they are prayer mantras written by a very great Acharya, a very learned Acharya of our parampara called Madhusudan Saraswati ji. Every text of Vedanta starts with a prayer mantra which is known as Mangala Charan Shloka. And in the Upanishads, this prayer mantra is known as Shanti Mantra. Because Bhagavad Gita was present in between Mahabharata, there is no separate prayers as such written for Bhagavad Gita. So Madhusudan Saraswati ji, before writing his commentary on Bhagavad Gita, he composed these prayer mantras seeking grace of Bhagwan Krishna, Ved Vyasa ji and Bhagavad Gita herself, which is seeking the blessings of Ishvara, Guru and Shastra as per our tradition. So by doing this, he is indicating to the seekers of moksha that along with putting the best effort to study the Shastras, one has to have the right attitude towards Ishvara, Guru and Shastra. This is prescribed by our Shastras itself. This is given by our scriptures, that this attitude is very important. It is important because scriptures are prescribing this not for the benefit of Ishvara, Guru and Shastra. They don't need anything from the seekers, But with this right attitude, the seeker will be able to transcend his ego. And the entire study is transcending this ego, which is not an easy task, And if the attitude of the seeker is not right, then he can sit for janmas and listen to this knowledge. He may get some intellectual understanding, but the knowledge will not get assimilated. In life, he is going to remain a samsari. So, Ishvara has insulated this knowledge. It is an open secret. Ishvara reveals himself only to a person who puts in his best effort and who has the right attitude. The attitude is very important in our scriptural studies, This attitude is going to get you the knowledge, and the wrong attitude will not get you the knowledge, So here, first and foremost, we are supposed to have the right attitude to our scriptural texts, which I see is lacking in the Hindus, Just like how the Sikhs revere their Guru Granth Sahib, so much of respect they give to their scriptural text. But Hindus don't know this. Our scriptural text must be put on the highest pedestal in the home. They are not supposed to be kept anywhere like other textbooks are kept, and especially like if you're sitting on a chair, you put the scripture down over there. No, that is not the way we treat the scriptures. You have to touch the scripture to your forehead and pray so that the knowledge has to get assimilated. It's a big deal, So, Madhusudan Saraswati ji, setting an example in front of us, he's such a learned person, a scholar, a Jivan Mukta, but he first prays, to Bhagavad Gita, to Bhagwan Krishna, to Ved Vyasa ji, before writing his commentary. His commentary on Bhagavad Gita is called Gudhartha Deepika. Deepika is a lamp which illumines the good arth of the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. Good arth is the deep and hidden meanings of the words of Bhagavad Gita. And his commentary was so good that there's another Acharya who wrote a commentary on his commentary. That is how our scriptural knowledge is. Each word is so cryptic, it is loaded with such deep implicit meaning that it's difficult to catch what they are saying actually, And the vachyartha of these words is not going to get anybody moksha. It is the lakshyartha, the implied meaning which the scriptures are pointing out. With that the person is going to get moksha, So we have to first pray, and so Madhusudan Saraswati ji prays. And the first shloka which we saw in the last class, he prays to Bhagavad Gita first, and he calls Bhagavad Gita Ambe Bhagavad Gita, Ma Bhagavad Gita, because she is Ma Saraswati. And just like any other mother who wants the best for her children, Bhagavad Gita wants the best for the seekers of moksha, And she is Bhagavatim, she is divine. Bhavadveshinim, she is the Dveshinim, the enemy of Bhavaroga. Bhavaroga is samsara. And the person who can assimilate her knowledge, she breaks through the shackles of samsara. Break through that, become liberated, So this knowledge, Madhusudan Saraswati ji says that Twam Anusandadami, I contemplate and meditate upon what you're saying, because this knowledge is not so easy. You have to contemplate. The more you contemplate, gradually it starts becoming clear as to what exactly it means, how effective it is in my life, it is life transforming knowledge. And this knowledge was given to Parthaya Pratibodhita. It was given to Arjuna by no other than Narayanena Swayam. Bhagwan Narayana, Bhagwan Krishna gave this knowledge to Partha. And this samvada, this dialogue between Bhagwan Krishna and Arjuna was reported by Vyasena Grathitam Purana Muninam. It was reported by Ved Vyasaji, who was Purana Munina, an ancient rishi, a muni, who gave us the Puranas, And Bhagavad in Madhye Mahabharatam, in between Mahabharatam, And Bhagavad Gita is Advaita Mritavarshinim. She is showering the nectar of Advait Jnana in Ashtadashadhyayini, in 18 chapters of Bhagavad Gita. So first he says, my namaha to Bhagavad Gita, Ambe Bhagavad Gita, may your knowledge get assimilated. I am contemplating upon your knowledge, and may this knowledge get assimilated. It's not that easy. Then the second shloka is Namaskara to Ved Vyasaji, which we are going to read, but we'll also chant the first shloka for the practice of chanting. Chanting these shlokas is going to get a lot of punyas to every seeker, So we'll chant that first. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata. You can chant now.
Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata
Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Grathitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamritavarshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayini Amba Tvamanusandadhami Bhagavad Anusandadhami Bhagavad Gite Bhavadveshini Namostu te Vyasa Vishal Buddhe फुल्लारविन्दायत पत्र नेत्र
पुल्लारविन्दाय पत्रनेत्र
येन त्वया भारत तैलपूर्णः
येन त्वया भारतैलपूर्णः
प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमयः प्रदीपः
प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमयः प्रदीपः.
So, Namah astu te Vyasa. My Namah to you, Ved Vyasa ji, who has Vishal Buddhi, whose Buddhi is Vishal. Fulla Arvinda Yat Patra Netra. Fulla means full blown. Aravinda is a lotus flower. Yat, like. Patra is the petal of the flower. Netra, your eyes. Yena tvaya, by which you, Bharat Taila Purnaha, Prajwalito Jnanamaya Pradipaha. Prajwalitaha means you lit the Pradipaha, the lamp, Jnanamayaha of wisdom, in which lamp the oil is Bharat Taila. It was full with the oil of Mahabharata. So this shloka is a namaskara to Ved Vyasa ji. Madhusudan Saraswati ji says Namah to Ved Vyasa ji, because you have such a Vishal Buddhi. Your knowledge is so vast. Only a person who has value for Paravidya and our scriptures can even realize what mind-boggling knowledge this is, The people of this world, the samsaris, they have no value for all this. They have value for books like Think and Grow Rich, How to Become Rich and Famous, How to Win Friends and Influence People. These are the books which are bestsellers, They earn millions, those people, because they've written such books, because they are so busy in this world, But Ved Vyasa ji's knowledge, only a person who knows all this, who is into the scriptures, can understand what kind of knowledge this is. This is phenomenal knowledge. He is the one who put the entire voluminous scriptural literature of ours into 4 Vedas, Then he wrote the Mahabharata, which is got the status of the 5th Veda. Veda Panchama it is called, It itself had 1 lakh verses, Mahabharata, It seems that there was nothing in Bharata which was not present in Mahabharata. Mahabharata covered up every possible topic, from philosophy to religion to dharma to psychology to human character to relationships to values, name it, and it was present in Mahabharata, So this, he just, the verses just came, just rolled out of his mind, because he was the avatar of Bhagwan Vishnu, So it seems when he wanted to actually compose this epic Mahabharata, he wanted somebody to write down as he spoke, And there was nobody who was willing to do this job, because it was not humanly possible. Ved Vyasa ji was so fast, in all this, and human beings couldn't cope up with that. So Ved Vyasa ji went and asked Bhagwan Ganesha that if you could write this down, and Bhagwan agreed, So this is our Bhagwans, they have no problems in doing any kind of work, Bhagwan Krishna became the charioteer of Arjuna. Bhagwan Ganesh became the stenographer of Ved Vyasa ji, So, but Ved Vyasa ji put a condition on him. He says that when you write, you also have to understand the meaning of the verses when you write, So Bhagwan agreed, and he put a condition on Ved Vyasa ji that once you start telling these verses, you will not stop till the end. So both agreed to each other's conditions, and Bhagwan Ganesh then broke one of his tusks, sharpened it and started writing on palm leaves. That is the reason why Bhagwan Ganesh has only 1 tusk. The other one is only less than half. It was used to write this Mahabharata, So both of them got down to the task. Ved Vyasa ji kept rolling out the verses, and Bhagwan Ganesh kept writing them. And that whenever Ved Vyasa ji needed a breather, because this was going at real speed, so whenever he needed a breather, he would compose a difficult verse, So Bhagwan Ganesh took a few extra seconds to understand that, And then again they would start off. So in Bhagavad Gita, whenever you come across a difficult verse, it was Ved Vyasa ji taking a break at that time, Yeah. So this was a task which Bhagwan did, and Ved Vyasa ji spoke. That is how Mahabharata was written. So here he says, Fulla Arvinda Yatapatra Netra. Your eyes are like the petals of a full-blown lotus, But here, the eyes which are being spoken about are not the physical eyes. He's talking about the third eye of wisdom, the vertical invisible eye, the third eye of wisdom. Because it seems Ved Vyasa ji was physically not very attractive, so you couldn't use these poetical words for his beauty of the eyes, physical eyes, but his wisdom was extremely beautiful. His name was also Krishna Dvaipayana. Dvaipayana means the one who is from the Dweep, from the island. And Krishna Bhagavan, he was so attractive. Krishna means Karshayati iti Krishna. The one who attracts you is Krishna. And what attracts us is happiness attracts us. So the person who exudes happiness, is the one who is going to attract you the most, But Bhagavan Krishna's personality was so attractive, even physically he was so attractive that all the gopis were crazy about him, So, but Ved Vyasa ji was wise person. So here they are talking about his third eye. So he says that with this eye of wisdom, you have prajwalitaha, you have lit the pradeepaha, the lamp, jnanamaya of wisdom. The lamp of wisdom, the light coming out from the lamp is the light of knowledge always. That is why we light a lamp before any study, before any auspicious occasion. That is what it dispels the darkness of ignorance. And that is the meaning, the true meaning of the Diwali also. Diwali is the light of knowledge that most of the people don't know, And then as to express happiness, it was celebrated in Satyuga when Lakshmi ji came out of that Samudra Manthan. And when they saw Lakshmi ji, then out of celebration they again celebrated, out of happiness they celebrated Diwali. Then in Treta Yuga, when Bhagwan Ram came back to Ayodhya, that time it was celebrated out of happiness. And then in Dwapar Yuga, when Bhagwan Krishna killed the demon Narakasura, that time Diwali was celebrated, But the true meaning of Diwali is the light of knowledge. And Lakshmi ji is prayed only on Diwali because of Satyuga she came out, And Lakshmi ji does not mean money. Lakshmi means wealth. There's a difference between two. Though, some artists, when they portray Lakshmi ji, it's, those two hands and the money falling down into some container. So everybody thinks you pray on Diwali, you'll get money. Money is not what Lakshmi ji means. Wealth means what makes my life happy, fruitful, rewarding. That is wealth. So we pray for wealth and not money. Money can be a source of big problem, all the family feuds and the crimes and kidnappings, all this because of money, That's because Lakshmi's grace is not there, These people are crazy about accumulating that money, Then Lakshmi ji's another name is Chakri. Chakri is because she is the wife of the wielder of Sudarshan Chakra, And she is a very pativrata lady. She only enters the house where her husband is revered and worshipped. Otherwise, the money may come, but this wealth, Lakshmi ji is not going to come, And the other meaning of Chakri is the one who's always on the wheels, in Chakkar, today here, tomorrow there. She can turn a Karodpati into a Rodpati anytime if she wants to, So she is like that, dangerous Lakshmi ji. That is why you have to know the exact meaning of Lakshmi ji. So here, the lamp which is lit by Ved Vyasa ji, in that the oil is of Mahabharata. Mahabharata oil, because the lamp keeps using the fuel, the oil, all the time to remain lit. But this lamp, because of this eternal knowledge, it never goes down, because it is Mahabharata wisdom. And with that wisdom, this light is lit. And if we can consume this wisdom, then the light of knowledge is going to get lit in our buddhi. We'll get enlightened. So our Namah to Ved Vyasa ji, who has, lit this lamp for us, for eternity he's lit it, and till date we are the beneficiaries of that. Then the next shloka we are going to read. Prapanna parijataya Totra vetraikapanaye Jnanamudraya Krishnaya Gita Mritaduhe Namaha. So Namaha Krishnaya, my Namah to Bhagavan Krishna. Prapanna parijataya. Prapanna means the wish fulfilling. Parijata is a tree. Totra vetra ekapanaye. Ekapan, in one hand he is holding totra vetra, that is the whip which he is driving the horses of Arjuna's chariot. Jnanamudraya, in the other hand he has got Jnanamudra in his hand. He is showing the Jnanamudra. Gita Mrita Duhe Namaha. Gita Amrita Duhe. He milks the Gita, the knowledge of Gita, which is Amrita. It gives immortality to everyone who can consume this, So here, Bhagwan is being compared to a Parijata Vriksha. Parijata is supposed to be a mythological tree in heaven, which the uniqueness of this tree is, if a person goes and sits under this tree is going to fulfill that person's wish if he is asking for something from that tree. So Bhagwan is like a Parijata Vriksha, because he will fulfill his sincere devotees' wishes, whatever the devotee is asking for. Be it dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Depends what the devotee is asking, and a sincere devotee. If he is asking anything from Bhagwan, Bhagwan is going to fulfill it. He is like the Parijata Vriksha. He is not going to give moksha to everybody, because nobody wants moksha here. Who wants moksha here? Everybody wants dharma, artha, kama. So if the person is working on his biceps and triceps and he wants good biceps and triceps, then that is what Bhagwan is going to give him. He'll get good biceps and triceps. You want anything else in this world, you pray for it, pray to God, he'll give it to you. You want that, I'm not giving, you want it, So this freedom God has given to us, Whatever you want, you pray sincerely, I'll give it to you. It's your life, you manage what you want to do. Then, Totra Vetra Ekapanaye. Totra means the whip, Vetra means its handle. So Totra Vetra, he is, the Lord of this world, but presently he drives this world, but presently in this situation he is driving Arjuna's chariot, in the chariot there is a front seat where the driver sits and the VIP sits at the back, and Arjuna is sitting at the back and Bhagavan is sitting in the driver's seat, and he's holding the whip in his hand because he has to drive the horses, and this has a deep meaning. This means that God doesn't have any inferiority, superiority complexes about any job, He is so okay with doing any kind of job here in the world, and he's teaching us a lesson that we should also not have all these complexes about our profession and jobs which we do. There should be dignity of labor, So whatever job we get, that is, we have to do it with full love, passion and enthusiasm, and the success then has to be ours, if we do that job well. Instead of, oh, I don't like this job, I want to look for another job, that is the job. No, the job which you get is what you should do very well. Like Bhagwan is doing that job, he's the Bhagwan and he's doing a driver's job there, I've seen on TV once, this some remote small village in Maharashtra, government school, and that government teacher, he would come on a two-wheeler navigating those tracks of the village. I've seen this on TV, and most of the government school teachers don't even come to school. They don't even come to because it's a government job, you can get the pay, in any case you'll get the pay. But this person was so passionate about his job, he would navigate that, reach punctually, very punctual, on time he'd reach there, and he would enact whatever he was teaching, and the students, because of that, they loved him and they loved coming to school because of him. And then he was very internet savvy also, so he would connect his school children with the children of different schools of all over the world, So it became a famous government school, And then there was an international award for the teachers, and 2-3 of these teachers from India, they were nominated for that, and this person was there. And he got that award, And it was a lot of money, the dollars and all that, And this person says that those 3 other people have also worked very hard and they are good teachers. I would like to share my money with them. And he actually shared that money, And because of that, he was honored and he was invited as a guest on Kaun Banega Crorepati, and he was honored by Amitabh Bachchan, So that tiny, dingy school in one remote thing of Maharashtra became so famous because this chap is doing his job very well. One person who loves his job. I also saw one, one traffic police in Indore. He's standing there in that sun and heat and pollution, and he loves his job. He's doing that Michael Jackson's moonwalk there on the road. It's still there on YouTube. It went viral, People would stand there and watch him. He is enjoying that traffic police ka job, Whether you are a plumber, carpenter, electrician, anything, if you are going to do your job well, you are going to shine. This is what Bhagwan is teaching us with this. He is sitting there and doing a driver's job, Then he is also the greatest Jnani. So his other hand is in Jnana Mudra, also called Chin Mudra. Now this Chin Mudra, Jnana Mudra, it symbolizes our entire philosophy, which is Jivatma Paramatma Ekya. So in this Jnana Mudra, the index finger, it represents the Jivatma, the ego. We go around pointing the fingers, you with this finger, The Jivatma it's also called Tarjani in Sanskrit. Tarjani means Tarjayati iti Tarjani. A threatening finger, I'll see you, I'll sort you out, this finger. This is what we show to others. So this is the Jivatma, the limited, finite, mortal individual with a beginning and an end, Jivatma. Now this finger is naturally close to these 3 fingers and it's away from the thumb. These 3 fingers represent the 3 shariras, the Sthul, Sukshma and Karan shariras, which have 3 gunas of Prakriti, Sattva, Rajas and Tamogunas. So Jivatma is identified with this body, mind, sense complex. So it is close to this. And he is away from Paramatma, this away from the thumb. But without the thumb, these fingers can't do any work. You try doing something without the thumb, we can't hold anything, we can't write anything. The thumb is important. Just like Bhagwan is the Aadhar of this world can't run without Bhagwan. So this thumb represents Bhagwan, Paramatma. These 3 represents the perishable matter, the Prakriti, and this Bhagwan, the Purusha, and this is the Jivatma. Now all the sadhana has to be done, spiritual sadhana, to cognitively separate the Jivatma from perishable matter. You have to separate. All the sadhana is for that. And then you bring this and join the thumb, Paramatma. Once the Jivatma joins Paramatma, a circle is formed here. And the circle is unique because the circle has no beginning and no end. It is Purnaha, is Anadi, is Anantaha. This person was limited, mortal. But here, the moment you join, this is Paramatma. So once the Jivatma separates himself by spiritual sadhanas, he detaches from the matter, the perishable matter, and attaches to God, he becomes, this is Jivatma Paramatma Ekya. Then Apurna Jivatma becomes Purna Paramatma. So the entire spiritual sadhana is detachment from matter to attachment with Paramatma. But unfortunately here in the world, everybody is detached with Paramatma and attached to everything which is going to die. In any case, is perishable. It's here for a short time. So you are attached to matter. You are a mudha as per the Shastras. So this is what the Chin Mudra is. And Bhagavan has got Chin Mudra in one hand, the Jnana Mudra. And by this this is being showed that with one hand he is doing his worldly duties. He is driving the horses, the chariot. And by the other hand, he is giving self-knowledge to Arjuna, who is sitting at the back, Jnana Mudraya Krishnaya. Gita Mrita Duhe Namah. He is milking the Amrita of Gita and giving it to Arjuna. So, Namah to Bhagavan Krishna. Then, Sarvo Panishado Gavo Dugdha Gopal Nandanaha Partho Vatsa Sudhir Bhokta Dugdham Gitamritam Mahat. This word Sarvo Upanishado Gavo, when we chant this Oka Matra as Oka Matra, Sarvo Upanishado Gavo. But when we read, it is Sarvaha Upanishadaha Gavaha. Yeah. So Dogdha is the one who milks Gopalanandanaha, Bhagavan, who is the joy of cowherds. Parthaha, Arjuna. Vatsaha is the calf. Sudhi is the one who has clear buddhi. Bhokta is the partaker of that milk. Dugdham, the milk. Gita Mritam Mahat, the milk is the Mahat Gita, the supreme, the timeless Gita, which makes a person Amritam, which just gives immortality to a person, So this Bhagavad Gita is not anybody's personal philosophy. It is the Sara of our Upanishads. So here an imagery is being used that all the Upanishads are compared to a cow. Because in our culture, whenever you wanted to express the best is the cow, It represented wealth and sanctity. And in olden days, all the wealthy and pious people had cows in their house, So the one who had a lot of cows, they were wealthy people and very pious, nice people, Even today, we have a lot of reverence for cows, and even the ones who take care of the cows. That is why going to these gaushalas and feeding the cow gets a lot of punyas to a person, So here, the entire body of the cow is compared to all the Upanishads put together, And he's saying, Dogdha Gopalanandanaha, Bhagwan, the joy of cowherds, So today, they milk the cows by those machines and all that, But earlier days, one had to milk the cow, and that depended on the cow's mood, and she had to be coaxed, otherwise she'll give one kick. I've myself seen the cow giving kicks to people, she's not going to permit the person to milk. Then they'll bring the calf and put it in front, and then the cow will lick the calf and then be willing to give the milk, So it was a task milking the cow, and only that person who the cow loved could go and milk the cow, So, but from mythology we know that Bhagwan was an expert cowherd. He was born in that community. He was loved by the other cowherds and even loved by the cows. and he didn't have to be taught how to milk the cow. He knew that very well, And philosophically, the Upanishad cow, the cow of these Upanishads, all put together, this milk also Bhagwan milks. He extracts the sara of all the Upanishads, and he gives it to Partha Vatsaha, the calf. Now the cow gives the milk only for the calf, So the calf here, the Vatsa is Partha, he's Arjuna, because he can take this. He is the bhokta. Only that person can take this milk if you have sudhi, otherwise this won't get assimilated. This milk is not like any other milk, This milk of Gita requires a lot of sudhi, buddhi, great buddhi, clear and discriminative mind is required to enjoy. Bhokta means the one who can assimilate this knowledge, And dugdham, that milk, is Gita Mritam Mahat, the timeless knowledge of Gita, which is Amritam, So Bhagwan, on one side, he actually mythologically, he is very, very popular. He is the joy of all cowherds. He milks all those cows, And the Upanishadic cow, he is milking that cow and giving. Through Arjuna, he has given us that milk, and it depends on us. If we can, mature our minds, purify our minds, then we can also become the bhoktas of this milk here. So our namah to Bhagwan Krishna. Then we'll read Vasudeva Sutam Devam
Vasudeva Sutam Devam
Kamsa Charura Mardanam
Kamsusatarura Mardanam
Devaki Paramanandam
Devaki Paramanandam
Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum.
Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum.
So Vasudeva Sutam. Sutam is the son of Vasudeva, Bhagwan's father's name. Kamsa Charura Mardanam, the destroyer of Kamsa, his mama, and Chanura, he was a demon king, Devaki Paramanandam, Bhagwan's mother's name, Devaki, he was the joy, a source of great joy for his mother. Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum, my Vandana to Bhagwan Krishna, who is the Jagat Guru, who has given this knowledge for eternity, to universal knowledge he's given. It's not just for Hindus or anything. This knowledge is applicable to everyone. Doesn't matter the religion, caste, nationality. It's all above that. It is a universal knowledge which he gave for humanity, So here in this shloka, Bhagwan's greatness is being described at 3 levels. One is, as a member of the family, he was the greatest, As a member of the society, he was the greatest. And as a Jagat Guru, he was the greatest. So, Vasudeva Sutam Devam Devaki Paramanandam. He was such a good son to his father Vasudeva, and he was a great source of joy for his mother. Always, all the sons are, they are all Maa ka ladla betas, But Bhagwan did all his duties at home perfectly, and he is by that, he is teaching us a lesson that our duty begins at home. We have to contribute towards the happiness, towards the harmony and peace of our homes first, Always one parents are running around from pillar to post doing all kind of work, and children, some of them, they're so busy in sense gratifications, getting into wrong company, doing bad things, available. The duty begins at home. We have to be duty bound, we have to be responsible, just as Bhagwan was. Bhagwan did his duties at home. He was a source of happiness for his home, and by that we have to learn our lessons. Then we have to expand our duty into the society. Our society, my city, my country, I have to contribute something here, you know. Not always like those people, government sitting on dharnas and government didn't give me this and I want this and I didn't get this. Not thinking once that what have I done for my society, what have I done for my country, what have I done for my city. No, that thought only is not coming, only they want, you know, they are takers. They don't give anything, you know. So no, we have to, like Kennedy said, you know, ask not what the country can do for you, ask what you can do for the country. What are you doing for your country? No, I want this, I want that, this is not giving my pension and my this. All the time there's agitation going on because they are takers, you know. So no, this is showing us that we have to contribute not just to our homes, but to our society also. There are some people who take so much of good care of their children, but there's no contribution to the society, nil contribution, only me and mine. They're busy, they're like that and they die like that, you know. And there are some people who are so busy in social service, always running and taking care of slum children and all that, and at home their own children are neglected because they have a lot of money and there's hired help there, so they are taken care of, you know. No, you have to take care of your children yourself and then also do social service, you know. But that comes later. First, the duty is at home. You fulfill your duties at home and then you fulfill your commitments, your duty. You are duty bound. So you have to take care. Those, you know, the Panch Mahayagyas we had studied, you know, that Dev Yagya, Rishi Yagya, so many, all those we have to take care of human beings around, plants, animals. We have to contribute here. Why have we come here otherwise? A person who just comes and goes away like that, let me tell you, he goes dissatisfied with himself, you know. A person who does all this and goes at the deathbed, he's so satisfied that he did what he could do, you know. He really served here. So Bhagwan is serving here by Kamsa Charud Mardanam. You know, he established dharma here. Whenever there was too much of adharma, Bhagwan is born only as an avatara for that reason, and he protects the good people and he removes these evil people from the society. His own mama was so evil, you know, and he had no problems in destroying his mama, you know. Kamsa Charur, and Chanurna was a demon king and he was troubling everybody so much around, you know. So these evil people, you know, they are evil because their thinking is evil. The mind is never evil. Mind is a manifestation of Brahman. It is made up of apanchikrit panchamahabhutas we've studied. But the thinking of these people is evil, you know. So Bhagwan tries to first, you know, correct them by telling them what you should do. You're going wrong there, correct yourself. But if they don't listen, they're not correcting themselves, then he removes them from the society for the good of the other people. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam. He will protect for the well-being of the good people. He is going to remove the evil people from the society. What a huge contribution to the society. Otherwise, most of the societies are suffering because of these evil people around, you know. So he contributed to his family, then he contributed to the society. And then as a Jagat Guru for future generations, for posterity, he gave this knowledge, you know. And till date, humans are being blessed with this knowledge. So we also have to think about doing something for future generations, you know, that we do something over here in such a way. Even all those great people till date are being benefited because they did such great work. There are roads in their names, there are places in their names. We all remember them because of the great work they have done, you know. So by this shloka we come to know that we have to work at 3 levels in our life. We have to contribute towards the harmony of our homes, bring peace and harmony, contribute, work hard for the home, not being takers at home also. Irresponsible people, there are so many who are irresponsible. Then we have to contribute towards the society and not be takers here also. And also we have to think of the future generations, that what can I do to help my future generations. Otherwise, the next generation may put your photograph, it's not just for the photograph, but generally one generation will have the grandfather's photo maximum. After that, we don't have our great grandfather's photos around, they're forgotten and gone. But if a person has done something, if he has contributed, he's not forgotten. And not just forgotten, we don't want the name to be there, but there is a solid contribution to the society. That person has contributed, And so contribution is the way to go. We don't have to be consumers here. Most of the people in the world are consumers, they are not contributors. And imagine if a society had all the contributors, what kind of a society that would be. There are so many retired people who are not working. They don't contribute, They're just so busy and they don't know what kind of they're existing, most of them. No, that's not the right kind of a life. Bhagwan is teaching us a lesson by this, So Nama to Bhagwan, who contributed at 3 levels, Then we'll read the next. भीष्म द्रोण तटा जयद्रथ जला गांधार नीलोत्पला शल्य ग्राहवती कृपेण वहनी कर्णेन वेलाकुला अश्वत्थाम विकर्ण घोर मकरा दुर्योधनावर्तिनी सोत्तीर्णा खलु पांडवै रणनदी कैवर्तकः केशवः. So in this verse, this battlefront of Mahabharata, is being compared very poetically to a treacherous river, Rananadi, which is full of unpredictable and hidden dangers lurking in it, It is a beautiful analogy given here, So in the Mahabharata war, it was between Pandavas and Kauravas. The Pandavas were the son of Pandu, and there were 5, Yudhishthira, Bhim, Arjuna, Nakula and Sahadeva. Their father was Pandu. And Kauravas were 100 in number, the eldest that Duryodhana, and they were the sons of Dhritarashtra. Pandu and Dhritarashtra were brothers, and they were the prince of Hastinapur. Now Pandu was younger, Dhritarashtra was elder, but Dhritarashtra was born blind. Now because of this factor, he could not become the king of Hastinapur, He was not qualified to become the king as per the rules of the kingdom. Now that was a point of jealousy for this Dhritarashtra, And this jealousy led to all the problems which they faced later, So Pandu and Dhritarashtra, they were brothers. Pandavas were the son of Pandus, Kauravas was the son of Dhritarashtra. And here they are facing each other. Bhishma Pitama was the grandfather of all these. And Dronacharya was the guru of all these. But unfortunately, they were standing on the Kauravas side. These two were standing on the Kauravas side because it seems they had given their word that they will always protect this kingdom. So whoever is ruling the kingdom, they are going to protect, and they had given their word. So they are standing there on the Kauravas side. So now these Pandavas, their army seemed weak, and it seemed less in number. It was less in number, and it also visibly seemed weak, because on the Pandavas side, on the Kauravas side, the number of the army was huge, and a whole lot of powerful kings there. So the Pandavas, when they saw that, it seemed that this is not possible for us to win this war because this army is huge. So they are describing the dangers the Pandavas are facing in this army in this verse. Very interesting, you know. So first, Bhishma and Drona are compared to the Tata, the banks of this Rana Nadi, this dangerous Rana Nadi, which is compared to this dangerous war, you know. Now the river flows only within the banks, and the banks, they decide the course of the river. These people were big deciding factors for everything because they were the eldest there in the family, you know, and unfortunately they are on the Kauravas side. So the first problem which Pandavas faced is Bhishma, Drona were like the Tata of that Rana Nadi, the dangerous Rana Nadi. Then the next problem, Jayadritha Jala. There was a king Jayadritha who was from Sindhu Desh, it seems, you know, and he was very powerful, a very strong, warrior, and he had a lot of manpower, which had all gone to the Kaurava side, you know. So he is compared to the water of the river. This Rana Nadi, the water is Jayadritha Jala. The second biggest problem the Pandavas are facing is this king Jayadritha. Then the third problem which Pandava is facing is Gandhara Nilotpala. Gandhara is the prince of Gandhara from Gandhar Desh, that Shakuni, that deceptive, cunning guy. That is why he is compared to Nilotpala. Nilotpala is a blue lily, it's very deceptive, it looks very attractive, but when you go there, because of the slush in that area where it grows, you'll go and get trapped there, you know. So he's compared to Gandhar, this Gandhari's brother, and Gandhari was the wife of Dhritarashtra. So this Gandhar is like Nilotpala, just like the deceptive lily. This deceptive guy is on that Kaurava side, and he is so cunning and scheming that cunningly he could win the war, not in a fair and just way, you know. So he was a cunning fellow on their side. The next is Shalya Grahavati. King Shalya, he was from Madara Desh, you know, where Madari, the wife of Pandu had two wives, Kunti and Madari. Madari was also from Madara Desh, and this person was also from Madara Desh. A very powerful guy here. So he is compared to Grahavati, a dangerous crocodile in that river, you know, which can become a big danger for these Pandavas, you know. So this was the third problem in front of Pandavas. Then the next problem is Kripena Vahani. Vahani is like the current of the water. Rana Nadi ka current is Kripena, Kripacharya. Kripacharya was like a great archer or a guru of these people like Dronacharya. And he is also standing there on their side, you know. And he is compared to the current of the water, and mainly the undercurrent. Sometimes the river looks very calm from top, but the undercurrent is so dangerous that you go there and it's going to just trap you there, you know, the undercurrent. So that dangerous undercurrent is compared to Kripacharya. Then the next problem, big problem standing in front is Karnena Velakula. Karna, who was so strong, he was as strong, almost as strong as Arjuna, you know, and he was actually a Pandava. He was a son of Kunti, which he did not know, and he had so much of problems because of this identification of his, you know. So he is compared to Velakula. Vela is the waves, you know, those huge tornado kind of dangerous waves which you see. He is compared to that right in front. He is standing in that Kaurava side, you know. So this was the next problem for Pandavas. Ashwathama Vikarna Ghor Makara. Ashwathama was the son of Dronacharya, and Vikarna was one of the Kauravas, brother of Duryodhana, you know, and they are compared to Ghor Makara. Ghor is dangerous, killer whales, Makara, that killer whales there in that water, you know. So these two, Ashwathama and Vikarna, also standing. These are the people Pandavas are facing there. Then Duryodhana Vartini, that head of the evil brigade, that Duryodhana, he is compared to Avartani. Avartani is the whirlpool, you know, in the water. It moves in a cyclic way, and anybody can get sucked into it. There is a whirlpool, you know, it's dangerous, very, very dangerous. And all these people, this Duryodhana had got them on his side in a very cunning way. They got sucked into his army like you get sucked into the whirlpool. So all these people are standing in front of the Pandavas, and it seems literally impossible that they'll be able to win this war. So this is like crossing a dangerous river, a river in front which seems like you cross a dangerous ocean, it seems, and you have a tiny boat there, and how are you going to cross it? But so Tirna Khalu Pandavai Rananadi, Uttirna, crossed. Sir Rananadi, this dangerous river battle was crossed by Pandavas because they won the war, So it was crossed only because Kaivartaka is the boatman. Their boatman was Keshavaha. Bhagwan was their boatman. So Pandavas managed to cross this dangerous Rananadi because Bhagwan was navigating their boat. He saw them through. And Pandavas won this war. And by this shloka, what are we to learn? That our lives are not a bed of roses. This is a Mahabharata war which we are facing, which is full of challenges. And we also have to cross this ocean of samsara and get moksha here. And we can only get moksha here if Kaivartakaha Keshava. If Bhagwan is our boatman, if Bhagwan takes us through, we will also go there. We will cross over this samsara, this misery here, and we will get moksha if we surrender to Bhagwan, So this is what this thing is teaching us. Like, they say when you ride a two-wheeler, please make Bhagwan your driver. You become a pillion rider. Leave everything on Bhagwan. Why are you worried all the time? Oh, what will happen? What? If you have trust and faith, that attitude of yours is going to change. You're going to get relaxed. It's such a blessing. How can money and comfort bless us when inside we're always worried? Because this world, everything can change within seconds. The whole life can be topsy-turvy. Everything can change for us. But if we have faith in God, if we have surrendered to God, we will live through all the ups and downs of life with a balanced, equanimous mind, knowing that God is there for us. So this is what this shloka has taught us. We will take up the next shloka from next time. If you want, we will just chant from first to sixth shlokas once, non-stop. Together we'll chant. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Grathitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamritavarshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim Amba Tvamanusandadhami Bhagavad Gite Bhavadveshinim Namostute Vyasa Vishal Buddhe Fullar Vindayata Patra Netra Yena Tvaya Bharat Taila Purnaha Prajwalito Jnanamaya Pradeep Prapanna Parijataya Totra Vetraikapanaye Jnanamudraya Krishnaya Gita-mrita-duhe namaha Sarvopanishado gavo Dugdha Gopalanandanaha Partho vatsa sudhir bhokta Dugdham Gita-mritam mahat Vasudeva sutam devam Kamsa Charura Mardanam देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं भीष्मद्रोणतटा जयद्रथजला गान्धारनीलोत्पला शल्यग्राहवती कृपेण वहनी कर्णेन वेलाकुला अश्वत्थामविकर्णघोरमकरा दुर्योधनावर्तिनी सोत्तीर्णा खलु पाण्डवैरणनदी कैवर्तकः केशवः। ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरि ओम्।